Good morning, dear researchers. I'm very pleased to be here today. I would like today to announce that today the conference unit of NRC organizes a new lecture about the different funding opportunities offered from the Embassy of France to the Egyptian researchers. Our eminent speaker today is Dr. Reem Abderrahmani, the Scientific and Academic Cooperation Attaché. Dr. Reem is Attaché de Coopération Scientifique et Universitaire from September 2019 till now, Attaché pour la science et la technologie from October 2018 till now, chargé de mission scientifique ANR, Agence nationale de la recherche, from March 2016 to September 2018, chargé de projet de recherche INSERM from March 2011 to December 2013, and chargé de projet de recherche doctorante IRSN from October 2007 to October 2010. Let us welcome Dr. Reem to start her lecture entitled Scientific and Academic Cooperation Funding Opportunities, Embassy of France in Egypt. In this lecture, we will know overall about scientific and academic cooperation, Doctoral for master degree students, fellowships for PhD students, fellowships for postdoctoral researchers, and Imhotep bilateral research program. Welcome, Dr. Reem.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ael. Hello, everyone. I'm very pleased to come back to NRC today to present you our program for scientific and academic cooperation. I know that many researchers from the NRC benefited from our grants, and I'm very happy about that. I think you are the first institution benefiting for our grants in numbers. So I will not be very long. I think many of you know the programs we are offering. So I will briefly describe the programs, and I will be happy to answer some questions afterwards. So briefly about research in France, we have 74 universities together with 100 grands écoles. Grands écoles is something very specific to France. Is higher education institutions, mostly in business and engineering. Most of them are private, but they also have research activities. Among these universities and grands écoles, we have 2,256 doctoral schools with more than 70,000 PhD students. We also have 26 research centers. The biggest one is CNRS, which is the counterpart of NRC there, it's the National Research Center. So the CNRS is the equivalent of the NRC in France. We have other research centers like more specific in the expertise in STEM or medical research, in RAE for agricultural research and environment, and so on. There are so there are more than 3,000 laboratories among these university and research centers. Which is interesting to know is that those laboratories are mixed units. The researchers can come from in the same lab, can come from different research centers or universities. Usually we can have like a disciplinary team with different researchers from, for example, INSERM and CNRS, or INRAE and CNRS, and some university researchers working together and sharing their expertise in those labs. We also can count two private foundations like Pasteur for infectious disease and Curie for cancer research. A brief history of cooperation. You might know that scientific cooperation began with Napoleon's campaign in 1798 with the creation of Egyptology. At this time, most of scientific cooperation was related to Pharaonic and Islamic eras, and they created the FAO, which is the research center in Egyptology at the end of the 19th century. Since this time, thankfully and fortunately, France and Egypt strengthened their cooperation in all fields, and they maintained cooperation, scientific cooperation, medicine, engineering, social sciences, every topics which have a high impact on the world. I couldn't count the number of cooperation we have between France and Egypt now, because it's very difficult to have a highlight, because sometimes we do know that people are working together, because we are not managing all the cooperation between France and Egypt. Researchers are free to start their cooperation with the French partner, but we are usually very happy if you can inform us with this kind of cooperation, just for information and to help us to have a cartography of the partnerships. So, as I was saying, international cooperation is very important for France. We have more than 30,000 cooperation agreements between our university or research center with the international ones. It's more than 200,000 international students who come studying in France, either for bachelor, master degree, PhD. More than 40% of our PhD students come from abroad. I would say that French students, they don't want to apply for PhD, so it opens opportunities for international students to come and complete their PhD in France. France is the first French-speaking destination for international students and for research and development. So briefly, we will run CIS for scientific application in 2018. According to the Web of Science, more than 60% of publication in France are international co-publication, highlighting the importance of international cooperation for the French researchers. So briefly, who are we? For those who doesn't know yet us, we are part of the Cooperation and Cultural Department of the embassy. We are based at the French Institute in Cairo. We are quite a big team now. Some may know Nathan Mekawi, my deputy. We have two project officers in charge of either academic cooperation and scientific cooperation, Ariel and Ines. Two administrative officers, Hannah and Nora, and two Campus France managers, one in Cairo, one in Alexandria, Aya and Maya, who are in charge of promoting the French program in France, helping the students to find the best program for them, accompanying them to the process of application and the visa process application also. So our mission, since 2019, the academic cooperation and the scientific cooperation have been merged, which makes sense because academic cooperation and scientific cooperation, they feed each other. It's the same partners, basically, and the research is fundamentally of every good training program in the university. So we started to work all together in 2018, but the missions are the same. We have to support the French programs in the French university in Egypt. I don't know if you are aware that we have in Cairo University 2 double diploma tracks in law and in political science and economy. One in Untitled University, 2 in Untitled University for management and law also, 1 in Alexandria University for management, and of course the French University in Egypt, delivering diplomas in engineering, architecture, applied languages, and management. So we have the researchers and the professors there, and also in Egyptian University, to build partnerships to enhance the number of academic cooperation, not only for double diploma, but for student exchanges, professors exchanges. We offer some master scholarships, and we promote, of course, French education by promoting mobility of students from the bachelor to the PhD in France. For scientific cooperation, it's basically the same. We promote the French expertise in research. We help the researchers here and there to build partnerships to enhance the directorial research. We offer some fellowships for PhD, postdoc. We have a program for bilateral research mobility, and we can support or organize events. Regarding events, unfortunately, the last 2 years it was quite difficult to organize anything, but we basically organized a gathering through Zoom, webinars, and so on. But we have a very important rendezvous every year, which is Choose France Fair. It's a student fair. We invite a representative from French institutions, university in École, to come here in Egypt and to promote their programs either in French or 100% taught in English programs. And it's a very important event for us. It gathers basically between 1,000 and 1,500 students every year. It opens opportunity for them to apply in France to complete their bachelor or master studies. And we organize one of the 2 days is dedicated to institutional cooperation rendezvous between the Egyptian partners and the French representative coming. And this was the start for a few new cooperation agreements since 2019. We have seen that some universities or research centers, they started to discuss, even during COVID, to prepare some MOUs and cooperation agreements, and they signed it either during COVID online or when they came back after the pandemic restrictions. And we're very happy to tell you that we will try to maintain this event every year as a mandatory rendezvous for academic and scientific cooperation. We will more probably plan this new event during October this year, before COP27. So please register for the newsletter of the French Institute. Will announce the event through the websites of the embassy and of the French Institute. So briefly, we offer master scholarships every year, between 25 and 28 scholarships for master students. The program we have it's intended for Egyptian students applying for second year of master programs. In France, the system, university system is the Bologna system. We have 3 years for the bachelor, licence, 2 years for the master, and 3 years for the PhD. It's important to know that our scholarships are dedicated for the second year and master in France. Only the programs with like a 2 months of courses and training for 6 months maximum are eligible. It's more or less every master 2 programs that are designed this way. So the students can apply directly to the institutions in France, and they don't have to wait for an acceptation letter. They can apply for the Untitled program to have the scholarship. It gives us a monthly allowance of 700 euros for the duration of the master, and because it's a French government scholarship, it gives you exemption for registration fees in public university in the limit of 5,000 euros, and that gives access to accommodation in the students' residence for a good price, because we all know that accommodation in France is quite expensive. So they are eligible for this kind of accommodation for lowest prices. The conditions are very simple. They have to be graduated from an Egyptian or French higher education institution, and to show that they completed 4 years of university here in Egypt. Could be a French diploma from France, but we give the priority to students who never traveled in France. Regarding our doctoral fellowships, it's co-funded with the Agence Universitaire de la Francophonie. It gives 12 months of mobility in the French laboratory, distributed over the 3 years of the PhD. So either 4 months 3 times or 6 months 2 times. The conditions are simple. The students have to be registered in Egyptian university. It's mandatory. And this university must be part of the IES network. The IES network is the Agence Universitaire de la Francophonie network. Most of the biggest universities in Egypt are part of this network. For example, Cairo University, Yemen, Ain Shams, also Alexandria University, and so on. So make sure that if your student wants to apply to this kind of grants, the university he belongs to is a part of the network. I mean, some of private universities in Egypt are not eligible. I'm sorry. I think it's okay. So this is a condition, the first condition. The second condition is that the students have to be so the students have to contact a French laboratory and a French PI before applying. They have to get an invitation letter and the authorization of the French PI to welcome them before applying. It's mandatory because the process is quite long. I know that the deadline is soon. We are trying to promote this also for next year. You can prepare this with your master students, or if you are a PhD in the first year, you can prepare everything, contact the French PI in France, and then prepare to apply for next year. All our calls are open basically between January and April. Regarding the postdoctoral fellowships, maybe Dr. A could complete what I'm saying. We started this program with the STDF. It was, I think, in 2017. It's giving the opportunity for young researchers to get a 6 months mobility in France in a French lab. It's mandatory that the researchers belongs to a public university, and the applicants must be invited also by a French laboratory. We recommend that the applicants apply with a project of their own, something they are developing here in Egypt in their lab, and justifying the need to travel in France to get some expertise or know-how that the French lab can bring them. It's very important because 6 months is very short. It's a very short stay for research. So we would like the stay in France to be beneficial for their research and for the applicants. I mean, the adaptation to a new lab takes some time, so they couldn't adapt to a new project while going there directly. And the second thing is that we are looking for the young researchers to go there and to come back in Egypt and to continue with their own project and to continue with the cooperation. So they have to continue their own project here. So I mean, going and work in a project that is not your own, it could be very difficult to transfer after only 6 months all the know-how, the expertise, if you have not the infrastructure and all the needs related to this project here in Egypt. That's why we ask to the researchers to design their own research project to travel and to propose it to a French partner. So it can be beneficial for both. You are bringing a new topics to them or something very close to what they are doing, but not all the time something they are doing already in their lab. So they have an interest in developing a new field of cooperation, and you will bring back something from them when you will come back in Egypt. Am I missing something, Dr. Alia? Do you want to complete what I'm saying about the...
No, continue. That's
Okay. Last but not least, our Imhotep program, co-funded with the Academy for Science and Technology, which was created more than 15 years ago. It's, I think, now a well-known program among the researchers. We funded so far more than 200 projects, bilateral projects. I mean, when I say that we're funding project, it's not like fund for research, it's funds for mobility. We select a 2 years project with involving junior scientists. This is mandatory, either PhD or students or postdoc researchers. And we give up to 20,000 euros to be spent both in France and in Egypt for both teams and for 2 years. Meaning that every team will receive around 5,000 euros every year. So the conditions is that the senior scientists have to apply with the project, the same project for the French and the Egyptian scientists. We recommend that the bilateral team prepare the project in English and apply with the same project in both sides, because the evaluation will be done separately by the French side and the Egyptian side. So it's better than the researchers and the experts evaluate the same program. The first thing mandatory is that you have to involve young researchers in your team. And if it's co-supervised PhD students, it gives a priority. Of course, if the science is good enough, because it shows that you will have a strong cooperation and strong relationship between the two teams. And it funds mobility only, so plane tickets and accommodation in France or in Egypt. And there is a very small budget for research expenses. It's, I think, 15% for the French side and 25% for the Egyptian side. So don't count on these fundings to fund the research itself. You need to find the funds in your own lab to fund the research. The question I often have regarding how to build a partnership with a French partner is how to find and identify the best partner. It's always difficult because the researchers are expecting us to help them to find an expert in their own field. What I'm always trying to explain is that the expert in your field is you. I cannot find the best expert for you, considering that I'm not an expert in your own research. For example, I'm a biologist. I cannot understand mechanical research, or physics research, or something like that. So we can give you tools to identify a lab, but we cannot find the expert himself. So the first thing is that you can identify a partner through scientific literature. While reading the literature, you can identify the people in France working on your field and who can bring you the knowledge or expertise you are looking for. The second is that you can identify through the laboratories in France, the teams that are working basically in a field that are related from yours. So to help you identify the laboratories, we can propose you to visit the platform through Campus France website. It's a platform where you can find all the doctoral schools in France. All the doctoral schools count a number of laboratories attached to the doctoral schools, and you will find in this platform the links to the website of the labs. In every lab website, you will find their activities, the research topics they are working in, some bibliography or scientific literature they are publishing, and you will find the names of the researchers working there. This is this is a lot of work. I think that finding a partner can be easier if you have some scientific gathering, or through literature it's easier. But sometimes it can help you to identify a laboratory. The second thing is when you identify a researcher, don't write him an email saying that you would like to cooperate with him or to sign an MOU or something like that. The French researchers are expecting a little bit more information. If you identify someone who you can cooperate with, send him a concept note of your research and what you are expecting to do with them. Why you identify him as a potential partner and what he will bring you, but also what you will be able to bring him. Cooperation is bilateral. I mean, benefits need to be in both sense. You have to bring something to the French lab, and they will bring you something in exchange. If you send him a concept note of a project, cooperation project, there is, I will not say 100% chance that he will say yes, but there is a high level of like probability that he will answer you. Either to say, maybe you're mistaken, I'm not the best in this field, but I can recommend you someone. Or they will say yes. If they don't answer, here we can help you. We can help you while sending him an email saying that we know you, we know that you are doing great research, it's very important for the French government to enhance the cooperation in this field or whatever. Usually, if a researcher is not answering, is that he doesn't have time. He would be interested, but he cannot allow more funds to a new research program, for example, or he is not interested because he doesn't want to work in these topics or something. If we help you with sending an email, we might know why he doesn't answer or why he couldn't answer you. And we can like help you get time and look for another partner. So we'll tell you, okay, it's not the priority for them to develop a new project with Egypt. They are more keen to cooperate with other countries, or they are not developing this field of research anymore, or something like that. The researcher is full of, he has too many projects ongoing, he cannot accept a new project. And we can help you to identify another one by like pushing them, saying, okay, maybe you know someone who can help him, we can answer him or something like that. So I mean, the support of the French embassy is not about identifying someone, it's helping you to get an answer. Because we're not experts. We are experts in international relations. We are not scientists. I am not a scientist anymore. I have a PhD degree, but I didn't work on research for 10 years. So the experts, you are the experts. You are the best person to identify the people you would like to work with. Don't let anyone say that this person is better for you than this one. You are the best expert in your field in this world. So we can help you to get answers. We can help you to say, okay, maybe if I know a little bit about your field, I will say, okay, you're working on nanotechnology. I recommend you to look in the area of Grenoble or Saint-Etienne. I know that there is a center of research working on this field. They might help you if you're working on artificial intelligence. I know there are some places in France. This is like global information we can give you, but the experts, you will find it by yourself. And it's very important to have a project well structured before contacting the French lab. They need, if they want to, if you want them to work with you, they need to know that it will bring something to them. It will lead to something. And they won't waste their time because usually they are like overwhelmed with work like you are. I mean, if you get many requests from people all over the world, you cannot answer to everyone. So, help yourself with explaining the simplest way and the easier way what you are waiting from them, and this will help to start the contact. I think that's it. I will just finish with some customers too. We can propose you. Some of you already benefited from this help from us. We can sometimes help researchers to find some short stays in France or invite some French partner here in Egypt, either for some meetings or conferences. Like for 1 week stay here in Egypt or 1 week stay in France. My recommendation would be, if you are planning something like that, to contact us well in advance before we plan for the budget, the year budget. Our budget is from January to December. So usually all our funds are allocated to something in December. So if you want us to help you with to invite someone here in Egypt or to send you in France, please contact us maybe in September or October for the year after. Sometimes it happens that we like promise some funds for some researchers for projects, but they cancel it and they say, unfortunately, we won't be able to do it, so we don't need your funds. So it happens that maybe in August or September, we have some remaining funds. Feel free to contact us if you are planning travel in France to say if you have any remaining budget, I will be happy to travel before the end of the year. And it's very easy. We will say yes or no. So it happens that we have remaining budgets. So feel free to contact us in September for like a short-term departure. But anticipate all the time for the visa. The procedure for the visa is super long. It was like we could have said that 1 month is enough a few years ago, but now it's like, I mean, I would recommend to come for 2 months for getting a visa. So don't expect us to fund a travel, even if we can. If you are planning to travel 1 or 2 weeks after and you don't have a visa, a valid visa on Schengen on your passport. So this is something very important. Go through all the process for the visa. Even if you won't use it, you have an invitation letter from the French part, you have everything. And anticipate this a long time. Everything that we can help with is, of course, establish our new agreements. We can give you a help if needed. Sometimes we go to the researchers. We know they have an active cooperation with the French side, but they don't have an agreement signed. So it's very important to sign a cooperation agreement. Even if it's a large one, just planning for mobility for researchers and so on, because this agreement will help you to get a visa. It won't assure you to get the visa, but it will help, because if we say that both entities decided to cooperate with, we will just say to the consulate, okay, we have a cooperation, it's official between both universities or both research centers. Please have them to get the visa. We cannot decide, we just recommend your application to the consulate. It's very important because it makes things easier. Of course, for also the convention d'accueil, it's mandatory when you go to France. You need to ask for this kind of paper signed by the university in France that they will welcome you. If they know that there is a cooperation agreement, they will sign very quickly. So, and such agreements are very important. It's not just a paper that you sign and you're happy to say that you're cooperating together. It really helps to how can I say, to facilitate the mobility for the Egyptian researchers. And last thing is, if we can have some budget for sponsoring and something, we can support with a small sponsorship for a conference you are organizing here in Egypt at the NRC. We can also ask the ambassador to open the ceremonies. So it could be interesting for you to know that, either the ambassador or the cultural council. So feel free to ask us for this kind of participation. Of course, us as the scientific department, we are always happy to come and to visit you during your conference. It's very interesting for us to meet a lot of different researchers and to see the reality of the cooperation. For the event, of course, if you want us to participate or to fund, it has to involve French researchers. We're not paying for a conference not involving France. So that's all I have to say. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer together with Doctoral Aya. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us by email. We will be happy to answer you, to inform you. And of course, we will share the presentation with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lee, for your elegant and informative lecture. And we hope that we could encourage all the researchers at NRC to try to find a suitable opportunity, funding opportunity for him to improve and enhance the research process. And I think that you clarify all the steps needed to how to find the lab, how to find the partner, and how to find everything to promote the cooperation between Egypt and France. And it won't be the last lecture here. I think you could make another lectures to more clarify if there is researchers needs any points to be clarified, and the email which has been shown, you could send any questions about on these emails, and sure they will reply to all the questions that you need. Thank you again, Dr. Lim, for your for coming here at NRC, and it's nice to meet you, and it was very, very informative lecture. Thank you so much.
Before the
Question?
no, just thank you for me to be here at the NRC. I'm actually have a very long collaboration with France from about more than 10 years. It was very successful. Yeah, Reem and the previous attaché were very, very ambitious and collaborative with the researchers, and they are giving us support and everything. And you get Reem, I can thank you. More than thank you.
Thank you.
I want to raise a question. Someone asked regarding Imhotep Program. I want to know about the number of the Egyptian collaborating authors.
The number of collaborating authors?
Yeah. If there are a limit of number of authors,
we didn't set up limits, but just regarding the fund, it's 5,000 euros a year for all the whole team. So I mean, don't be 10 people, maybe 3, maximum 4, so everyone can benefit from the mobility, because the cost of the plane tickets or something like that. 5,000, maybe we can do 1 or 2 travel. So just briefly, how the Imhotep Program works. You, as an Egyptian team, for example, we will have 5,000 euros. With those 5,000 euros, you will pay for your own plane ticket to go to France. So basically, a plane ticket can be from 400 to 700 euros. So this is a lot. And then when you welcome your French partner, you will pay for accommodation and curriculum and so on. So just calculate in your project when you are submitting it, when you plan for the traveling, calculate how many people you can send or you can welcome here in Egypt. So this will give you an indication of how many people can travel. Don't put 10 people in the team if you cannot pay for their accommodation or their traveling. It's very important that everybody in the team can benefit from the mobility. Also, we will be very careful that the young researchers involved will benefit from the fund. Because if you put a young researcher and he will not travel with you, there is no point that he's in the team. It's really important that they can benefit from it. The funding is not only for the PI, the funding is for the whole team. Or you can complete, if you have more funds in the lab, you can complete with additional funding, and you can indicate in the application that you have a specific fund to complete what we are getting to.
Thank you, Dr. Rim. And I think basically that Embassy of France is trying to make all the steps easier for the researcher, starting from visa, French courses, when they are called to stay at France, they try to make every step easier to encourage them to participate in this cooperation and finish their research. Thank you again, Karim, and welcome to NRC. Thank you.
Thank you very much.